Hey, what's up, guys? This is Miguel with That's Trading, and give me a minute here so we can get a couple of people in here so we can begin looking at the SPY, the Qs, Apple, Amazon, and see where we're going this week. I hope everybody had a great and amazing weekend. I hope you are ready to trade. I hope you're ready to make some money. Money Monday. And if you are not yet in our Discord channel, you might want to visit thatstrading.com and join us as we trade live on voice every day, Monday through Friday, the open of the market. Okay, give me 1 second here while I post the link. Oh man. And all right, so the SPY here. If you saw last week's video, you saw that we had this flat bottom here on the weekly, but we had red volume, and my bias was to the downside on throughout the week because of that. Anytime you close a flat bottom with red volume, okay, that is not good. Again, I'm using the Heiken Ashi candle candles. That's what I use. That's what I use to day trade. They are my favorite. It gives me direction, a clear direction where the stock is going once you get to know how to use them. And that's what I teach the members on the Discord channel on how to use. And that is the Heiken Ashi candles. All right, so yeah, we saw this and it was hitting against this EMA right here. Flat top, we closed, flat bottom, we closed with some red volume there. And so my bias was to the downside going into the week. I spoke to you about that last week. And let's go on the daily. You can see that last week was really choppy, guys. And, you know, throughout the day, we just saw a bunch of choppiness. And you can see that by going to the daily chart and you see the indecision candles here. All right, a bunch of doji indecision candles. We're going up, we're going down. All right, but we're having a lot of resistance here, and you can see here that we formed a flag and we finally broke to the downside here. I believe it was Thursday afternoon, right? We broke on it Thursday afternoon, and then Friday just continuation to the downside. And finally, I was talking to one of my members on the Discord, and I was talking to him on this day that we finally got this flat top candle, a Heiken Ashi candle with some red volume. I'm like, here we go. Finally, we're gonna get some direction to the downside. That's exactly what happened on Friday after we closed this flat top on Thursday. And so I believe that we continue okay to the downside. We do have this trend on the daily, and I believe that's where we're going. So on the daily, we want to come to around this point right here before we can get a bounce. All right, not to say, guys, that we can get a little bounce tomorrow, right, and then the following day continuation to the downside. And so we might get a little bounce here, or we just might get a little bounce in the morning, right, and then continue to the downside. So anything can happen, but long term, okay, by the end of the week or towards the middle of the week, maybe Wednesday, or even sooner, we can hit this level before we can get a nice bounce back to around this 400 level. And so that's what I am expecting on SPY. If we go here intraday and we look at the 1 hour, okay, you can see on Thursday that we broke this flag or this wedge, and we finally broke it after many days of just, you know, bouncing off and on. And we're watching this, and we had this drawn out on the Discord channel, so we're well aware of what was going on the SPY on this up and downs throughout the week. And so once we got direction, it was clear that we were going down. Okay, and so you can see we have this 380 support tomorrow, so looking for that to see if we get any type of bounce. And in the 1 hour we can get this type of moves. Okay, we can come here, come back to this 388 and then continue to the downside, or we can maybe come back to this 395 and then, you know, come down. And so those are areas that we need to carefully watch and see what the SPY is gonna do. All right, and so things just don't go straight down. They do come up intraday and then continue selling off. So we got to be smart on where we're gonna play our puts, and don't go in right, you know, at the wrong time, because it's gonna have it could have a bounce and then continue down, and by that time your puts will get destroyed. All right, so that is let me remove this. That is SPY. Let's go over and look at the Qs. So everything's gonna kind of look the same way here. You could see same thing on the Qs. Last week we closed with that flat bottom, but again with red volume. Okay, so it is very important that when you play the Heikin-Ashi system or the candles, that you just don't look, all right, at the candle itself. You have to look at the volume, see what the volume is telling you. All right, and if they don't both align, all right, then you have to look at your other indicators or trend lines to see what, you know, what is telling you. And so, but when they both align, for example, we have this red flat top here with red volume, all right, we already know the momentum is going to continue to the downside. The probability is very high. All right, so when you get that alignment, it you get a really good direction of where things are going. And so on the weekly here, you could see we closed this indecision. It's not really a doji candle, it's more like an indecision. It's not right in the middle, but we did close red. Okay, and if we go to the daily here, we can see that we closed with a flat top with you know, this red volume bar, which is pretty huge. Okay, so my bias is, again, we're going to continue more to the downside. We are in a bear market right now, so continuation for this week is probably going to continue down. We're going to test this 280. So on this 280 we might get a little bounce, okay, and then continue down. All right, so we're watching the daily, we're watching intraday, and it's very important to kind of watch the daily with the intraday. You know, look at the 1 hour. Are you making any trends? What are the candles and the volume telling you? I also use the momentum squeeze, an oscillator, very similar to the TTM squeeze. What is that telling you? And so, you know, once you have all that giving you a direction, that's when you you know, you take a trade based on what your probability is telling you. Again, the market is a game of probabilities. Nothing is ever 100%. Nothing is ever guaranteed. But you want to play high probability trades that are more likely to go your way. Okay, and not to say that if they don't, you can't get stopped out. Okay, that's why you have to have a plan. You have to have a strategy, okay, to see you know, when am I going to get stopped out? When am I going to continue and let this ride, you know, for more profits? And so that is the cues there. Let's go ahead and go back to the weekly and let's go to Tesla. And these are stocks that I'm looking at. I look at them every single week because Tesla and SPY are the ones that we trade more on a daily basis. And then sometimes I go through other stocks and see if there's any setups. Okay, but you could see here, and we talked about this last week, we had a doji with red volume. You could see we didn't hold up. We're having this EMA here as a resistance, as well as we have this trend line here on the weekly that, you know, we're bouncing off support now. Okay, finally broke, and now we're hovering right at the bottom. Okay, so this could get tough. Okay, once we form a Heikin Ashi candle here, and it can happen this week, and we get a flat top, right? We get, you know, a flat top. All right, now it's giving us a clear direction, you know, that we're gonna, you know, come more down. All right, so watching those weekly candles can give you a real nice direction on where we're gonna go. You could see here, right, got its first flat top. Now the bigger the candle on the Heikin Ashi candles, all right, the bigger the momentum is, okay, or the push is to either side, either to the bottom or to the top. All right, so you can see this big candle here with red, a lot of red volume there, and we just continue to the bottom. And so that is the weekly, and if we go to the daily, I think that's exactly what we got on Friday. Okay, so again, we have this trend here with the flat top with a red volume bar. Okay, so that tells us that we can expect more downside on you know, to come. So we can expect this to come and test this low here. Again, that is how we form a bias. And if we go to the hourly on Tesla, again, you can see, okay, that we're bouncing off this trend on the hourly. Okay, and that's another thing I had posted to the members on the Discord to watch this to break. Okay, and as soon as it did, you know, we got momentum to the downside. Again, we're trying to bounce here, but I think once we get here, this thing is gonna, you know, come back down. Again, 617 spirit support. We might come and test that. We're gonna bounce or we're gonna break. We don't know. Okay, but if it does, again, expect more downside on Tesla. All right, so that is that. Amazon had a stock split. Let's see what it's looking like on the daily here on Amazon. Again, I have this level marked because I'm watching this level to see if we could get a bounce here for an intraday trade. And if we break to the bottom, I'm also looking for that for maybe some puts, but we'll see. So here's the daily on Amazon, and you can see here we got a first flat top here. Okay, and if we were looking at this the previous day, I could have told you, okay, my bias on the next day, it's going to be to the downside. Just strictly looking on the daily. Okay, Heikin Ashi candles are very powerful to give you direction. Doesn't mean that intraday, okay, that right at the open it's gonna just continue going down. It could happen, and it did on Friday. Okay, but these Heikin Ashi candles often have a little retracement and then continue to the downside. Okay, so you have to know how to play this Heikin Ashi candle trading system, and that is what I teach to my members. It's very profitable once you understand it. And so tomorrow again, I'm expecting more downside on Amazon. Okay, again, it might not happen at the open. We could get a retracement and then, you know, continue to the downside, or we can consolidate tomorrow and then continue to the downside on the next day. Let's look at the 1 hour here on Amazon. Yeah, we can see how we broke the trend here. This was Friday. We just continue selling off. All right. So Apple, I know a lot of people play Apple. Again, kind of the same thing that we're looking at in other all the other charts. Again, Apple has been holding up fairly well as other stocks have been plummeting just down. Look at Apple. You know, we've been holding fairly well around this 140 to 150 area. We came to, when was it? Yeah, back in October around this area. Then we bounced off of it. So again, we're here, we're testing it. We're still above this EMA on the weekly, and as long as we stay above it, you know, we could have a chance to bounce. But if it doesn't, once we break, then, you know, we're gonna have some downside. But let's look at the weekly really quick, because you can see that we closed with a indecision candle here. But again, we did close with red volume. Okay, so let's look at the daily. Okay, we can see here the daily have this huge, just like everything else on Friday, sold off, flat top with red volume. So again, tomorrow probably continuation to the downside. Again, intraday, maybe we can bounce a bit and then continue down. So things are not looking good for this week so far. A lot of bearish momentum to the downside, but we'll see what happens. Let's look at AMD really quick. So everything is looking pretty much the same. So here's AMD, and yeah, we got this big indecision candle here with red volume. Okay, and so even though the candle is green, right, the volume is red, so gotta be careful. And a lot of times what I do is watch for the break of this indecision candle. If we break down, okay, we are going to continue to the downside. If we break up, you know, we get some momentum to the upside. But again, the volume is telling me that it's bearish, and therefore my bias would be on here to play and wait for this to break to the downside and play some puts here. It does have room all the way to about $80 there on AMD. Yeah, you could see, you can also see a trend here. Okay, on the daily. Again, if watch this daily, because once we close on a doji candle, I mean on another flat top here underneath this, look at that, we're just going to continue to the downside and potentially hit this 83 to 80 target. All right, then we have Microsoft. All right, Microsoft, we have this trend here again that we cannot break above, just like the SPY. Finally, we broke down here. Again, we have room at 246. So if we break those lows, that, you know, when things can get a little crazy, because we're gonna start making new lows, and so people are gonna start panicking. Stop losses are gonna get hit. People are gonna begin to sell their positions, and it can get pretty crazy. So That is Microsoft, NVDA. All right, again, we close with the flat top, red volume. Let's look at the weekly real quick. Yeah, can break that EMA. We have this indecision candle here with red volume. Biases to the downside again. We have room to that 158. So that's probably where we wanna come down to. So again, things are looking bearish. Things are not looking good. Watch in the morning for a trap where things, you know, bounce. Let me go to the 1 hour. Okay, watching at the open where things kind of bounce. All right, and people think, oh, okay, this is the bottom, I'm gonna get in, and then things break down, right? And we begin to make new lows. And so watch for those type of bounces in areas of resistance. Right at the open, things go up, people begin to chase, they trap all the bulls, and then things begin to go south. Okay, so be careful with that type of stuff. Other than that, guys, I think I covered most of the stocks that we'll be looking at this week. If I did miss one, if there's one that you want me to cover, go ahead and put in the comments and I'll cover it on the next video. Don't forget to give me a like and a thumbs up so I can see that these videos are helping you and I can continue doing them to help you grow in your trading. If you would like to join us, click on the link below and sign up for our Discord channel where we trade live every morning from 8 to 11. Okay, and I take live trades on voice with the members that go on live on voice with me, and we kind of share our ideas back and forth. We take trades together, and really cool. And if you would like to be part of that, make sure you subscribe to our Discord. Go to thatstrading.com and sign up. Other than that, I hope you have a blessed and good and amazing trading week, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.